Ha! We're live. Let's see.
So the people who weren't able to tune in, they won't be able to see the footage.
Well, I'll put it up 24 hours after. Like for 24 hours, I'll share it, and then so hopefully people will see it. What was I going to say? Yeah. Thoughts. Hold on. Thoughts and reactions. The Burial of Kojo. Hello, Her Royal Thickness. How are you? Have you seen the movie? Have you seen The Burial of Kojo? Have you heard about it? Because hopefully this is going to be an interactive session and people are going to share their thoughts. Kantamanto, what it do? What it do? How far with our railways? I don't know if you've seen The Burial of Kojo. We're about to talk about it. That's what I feel like my English is all messed up. I know, right? So it's myself and Leo, and Fofo is going to be joining us at some point, and we'll see how it goes. I saw the movie. When was the premiere?
On the first.
Yeah, on the first on Saturday. Saw the premiere. Yeah, it was like, yeah. Kudos Blitz, kudos the whole team, Boat, Amake, who else was in it? The cast, yeah. Essie, like I really liked Essie.
The girl was.
Yeah, I really liked Essie. Not the little girl. Was it the little girl was Essie or her mother?
The little girl was Essie or?
Really?
Or the mother? Well, it's about Kojo, so it's not about Essie.
True, but I kind of like the mother's performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you like about it? I feel like she was very. She played it really well. She was very detached, and she was. She had a very stoic.
Same word I was going to use. I was going to say it was a rather stoic performance.
Yeah.
Stoic, but then still engaging in a very weird way.
Very.
Sorry, I'm trying to. Vertical is crap. Like, hold on, let's see how we can do this.
Who did you say Leo? Oh, Charlie, what happened?
Hello, Rasmi. Who's Rasmi?
Rasmi. No, I don't know who Rasmi.
Anyway,
Rasami.
Sorry, my bad, Rasami. Back to the movie. Hold on, Leo, speak.
Okay. Yeah. So the movie was. Do we talk about the movie or we speak about the casting? Because I think the lady did really well. I feel like the outstanding performance for me still came from the young girl. I feel like this was her first scene, her first film, and she did really, really amazing. I feel like the entire cast was very dope, and for their first film, they really delivered a performance that felt very authentic to the vision of the director. Yeah, Rodney. So, what do you think? What was your favorite performance?
Hold on a second. This man is there talking about vision of the director like he was in the director's head.
By the way, I'm a director.
He's a director.
I'm a director.
I'm not a director. Okay, so hi Rhea, what up? Hey, what does stoic mean? Your English big.
Google.
You know?
Google.
Hey, role model, what's up? Yeah, Manifest concert is coming up soon, so get yourself dictionaries and then check the English.
Yes.
Check the English.
Stoic. How are you able to spell it? That's the real thing. If you don't know the word, how are you able to spell it?
Okay, let's be honest. Well, I should be honest. I was somewhat disappointed by the movie. Like, the hype machine was on point.
Which part of the machine did you feel was on point? Do you feel it was his... Because he made these little graphics that he was putting out with the Volkswagen...
Right.
And all those things.
The Volkswagen on Fire sold me. Like, of where I'm a Gavi, your photos sent me to that cinema. I didn't know anything about the story. I knew that there was a car on fire, and obviously there was young girl with sparkles and stuff with an umbrella. All the visuals were stunning.
Right.
I mean, no lie. And that's what sold me to going to check out the movie. And seeing the movie, like, we've all seen a lot of movies, and I feel like we have to compare it to a standard that is in existence or whatever. You know, there should be a benchmark.
Yeah.
And I think on its own, yes, stunning visuals, all the bloody, 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 blah. And I'm really, really happy they pulled it off. I'm glad that they were able to put the movie together, because I've shot little projects, and it's a pain. And so for them to be able to shoot that, like for him to have the vision and actually
completion.
execute it like he did, kudos, like Blitz, hats off 1,000 times. But if you speak tree or fancy and you can understand the dialogue.
Your mom is fancy. That's why they're thinking.
Look, like I was dying. Like it's the most slow progression of a story I have experienced. Seriously, like even the cadence of the dialogue was just like mind blowing for me. Like that's saying, sir. I'm like, hold on, let's see. Togby is coming through. So Fofo is also a filmmaker. How am I saying also like him? And he's joining the conversation. We were hoping to get Boat, who is one of the producers of the show. Why am I saying the show? The movie. On here, but he wasn't able to make it. Let Fofo join, and he can share his 2 pieces. Cadence, no big sound. Okay, Fofo, I can hear you, but I can't see you. Hold up.
Oh, you can't see me?
No, I can hear your voice though.
Oh, good afternoon. I can see you guys clear, pa.
Oh, really? My sweats and everything. It still says waiting for Togby Gavua. That's what it is, right? Did I pronounce it well?
Is it Gavua or Gavua?
This is the brophilized one. Gavua. Togby Gavua.
So you feel like the movie, you felt like underwhelmed. Did you feel like, was it throughout the entire film that you felt like, okay, this is not what I was expecting? Or by the time you got to a certain point, you realized where the story was going and you were like, this wasn't it? Or what?
So I don't have a problem with the story. I have a problem with the lack of depth of the story, right? For, like I said, the hype around it, like Blitz shared how he had hand-drawn all the scenes. He had shared that he and Ryan Coogler had conversations around the movie. His name dropped 1,001 people, like Ava DuVernay and all sorts of people. And hi, Nat. And so like, for me, my expectations were like up there, right? Just because I'm like, just like kids, like it takes a village, right? To raise. So if you are in touch with all these people about your project, I'm expecting that the critique that they give you, the inputs, the feedback, suggestions and everything would go to make it like something of a lot, like loads of substance. You know what I mean? But so my biggest thing was the lack of story. The story was so thin that the movie was too long for me. I felt like the story could have, or the length of the movie, the running time could have been shortened. I understand that there's, there are
constraints.
Not even constraints, but there are, so with filmmaking, you are able to to say what's, so if it's supposed to be a feature length, this is what I want to say. If it's supposed to be a feature length, it has to go past a certain running time. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I want to say. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. And I understand that he wanted to make a feature length, but I feel like this would have been an incredible short film, right? It was too long for what it was, in my opinion, right? The visuals were stunning, but the lack of depth to the story kind of, threw the visuals away for me. There's only so much.
He says something that I agree with. He says it was a poetic avant-garde narrative, though. So all our expectations for story must be thrown out of the window.
True. Okay, so I agree with that.
Right.
Go on, sorry.
Because I feel like Blitz, the attempt that Blitz had was to create something that was avant-garde, that was more artsy than necessarily a narrative linear film.
Totally. It wasn't linear. The story was definitely not linear.
Right.
But my issue was with the fact that, yes, we are going for poetic avant-garde narrative. Fine, I have no problem with that. But it was still lacking, in my opinion. It was very hollow, right? So my biggest thing, I thought, Blitz, you're a music man. The easiest way to keep this poetry going and the avant-gardeness is to layer this thing with like crazy sonic soundscapes, right? And like where there is no like literal story, the music has textured it so much that it's carrying you through with the emotion and everything that you're supposed to feel, right? But
yeah, Fofo, what do you think
exactly.
about it?
What do you think about
What do you think about it?
And where are you? What kind?
What internet?
Exactly. I was about to say, like who's your ISP?
You need transfer.
So I'm sitting in the movie and I'm like,
so you feel like it was hollow in terms of not even just the story, but in terms of what you were watching. You weren't being engaged long enough to feel like the experience was that worth it for that.
I felt like I should have been on Ritalin because I had ADD in the cinema or something. Because I was like, yo. So the movie started at.
He says you have to accept my request.
I did. It says waiting on you. Okay, so I'm going to cancel it and do it again, please. Oh, okay. So hold on. It says +1. Oh no. So I'm adding you. You accept our request. So you accept it. Hopefully. There we go.
Yay! Yay! We see you now. Charlie, talk about the film.
So everybody's wearing a hat. That's cool.
Well, what do I think about the film? I feel like it was something very different to experience. Like it's something I've never experienced before in Ghanaian cinema. Like this is a country where our movie stars are Lil Wayne and so like when it comes to film, like a story like Burial of Kojo, like how it was like executed is very different. But then again, I do understand where Rodney is coming from with certain aspects of the narrative that like kind of like might not have hit home. You know what I mean? But generally, I see what Blitz was trying to do, and I rate him. You know what I mean?
We all see the vision, and we all see what he was trying to do. But unfortunately for me to be immersed in the movie as much as he would expect that I would be, I expected certain basic things that you take for granted, right? Like things that really, really irked me. Shaky camera work, right? Like
Professor.
Get away. And it wasn't like, it wasn't in like bits of the movie. It was kind of consistent throughout. It was shaky, right? I hear that their gimbal broke during.
Was it your gimbal that you gave them?
Hey, I beg you, fix that one. Respect me now. Anybody who wants to rent can contact me.
So yeah, I had a big problem with that. Like, I think that was the biggest problem. So anytime like you're trying to get immersed in the story and then there's camera movement, then there's a shake. I'm like, yo, what's up? Right? Then there were shots which were out of focus and blurry, right? Now I have a friend, Nat, who was like, but that added to the beauty. It doesn't have to be perfect and bloody, bloody, blah. I'm like, yo. I mean, if it was done for effect, I get it, but I didn't get that it was done for effect. For me, it looked more like flaws than an effect that they were trying to achieve. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I agree with the whole poetry of the narrative. I agree with like the visuals there. I can't even talk. The visuals were stunning. And you know, coming back from the movie, I was like, what did these IndieWire and BBC people watch that me I didn't watch, right? Then it dawned on me. Yes, Asa, you. It dawned on me that they don't understand Tree, right? So they just go by the subtitles and the visuals, right? And for that, it's stunning, because if you're reading the story as it's meant to play out and you're watching what you're seeing in front of you, dopeness. But if you actually understand the language and how unnatural the dialogue was flowing, I'm like, yo, you know?
So in this case, as a creative, who would you charge? Because would you say, what do you think hurt the production or hurt the film in the way that you're saying? Do you feel like, because I feel like some part of it for me too is, I don't know if it's necessarily the editor, whether it's the producer, it's the director. Clearly, you're not talking about the cast, because you feel like the cast delivered.
I'm not talking about the cast. I'm not even talking about, well, maybe the director. But the director is this film, no?
For when you did Lucky and you realized that, because I know there were certain changes that you also had to make like much later on. Why did you make those changes, and do you feel like it was necessary feedback that you got that then made you make that decision?
Pause before you answer. Agbegel is asking, so was the story good? Yes, the story was good. It was like great stuff. But yes, Fofo, please answer, and I'll come back to that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there are definitely some decisions that are like as a result of like feedback from like audience and stuff that I may have not have realized because it was like my work, you know what I mean? So definitely is actually part of the process to actually give the film to a certain group of people who you like, I mean, respect their opinion, to critique before you actually, you know, finally send it out there. So we did that, and yeah, there were certain changes that people suggested that I might have not necessarily been happy with in the beginning, but then in the end, it all made sense, and I'm happy I did make those changes.
I think I'll say, so story was good, but it was just bad directing.
Oh, I feel what had happened was the kind of narrative that he chose to do, he didn't necessarily have all the available tools, you know what I mean, to execute it to what we expect from this kind of like, you know what I mean, narrative. Because yeah, you could tell like they had a lot of like, it was a low budget thing, you know, like they had a lot of challenges on set. So maybe the reason why you're feeling this way is because he didn't have all the necessary tools, you know what I mean? Or
right. So given that he didn't have the necessary tools, would you say that if he had made the story tighter, right, shortened it, it would have had more?
Yes.
I don't think it should have been edited necessarily to a short film, but I feel like he could have kept, because I think feature length, if I'm not mistaken, starts from either 40 to 45 minutes.
It really depends.
Yeah, it does.
year 5.
In terms of, I'm going in terms of the academy. I think the academy tests 40 to 45 minutes. I'm not sure.
So, like, you see, this is my thing. It didn't need to be as long as it was for it to be a feature length.
Right. So I feel like it shouldn't necessarily been short like what he had done before, but I feel like it could have been maybe 40 to 45 minutes, a masterpiece.
Stunning. It would have been like, yo, Blitz, Charlie Udbona. I'm not saying you're not, don't get me wrong. But yeah, but please, somebody answer me this. Why did we have a foreign cinematographer?
That was my issue with the film from the beginning. Like when
I saw it, I'm like, again,
yeah, because I actually thought once Fofo was commissioned as a photographer, that means we were still going to find a DOP from here. So my main issue with the film was with that decision, because I felt like Hopefully. Yeah, so I feel like that was my problem with it, because it was homemade, and why not do homemade all the way? Even with the scoring, I felt like we have an orchestra in Ghana, so if we were going to do the string thing,
for the scoring, I won't lie, I was disappointed.
I mean, Galilee, we have an orchestra in Ghana. Like, have you ever tried like dealing with like, you know what I mean, the logistics?
Blitz has a band.
I think he wanted a string section. I think he wanted a string
section. Can you just get a few people who play strings and stuff?
Yeah, I feel like he could have done that though. There are people in Ghana who play strings, like they're not part of the orchestra, but they have access to equipment and stuff. I just feel like, I understand that maybe he had a schedule, and he said he had only 2 days. Did he say he had 2 days to do the scoring or something?
Yeah, he landed in Paris today, and his visa was like gonna expire in like 2 days, and then he had to like do everything and leave before his visa expired.
Perhaps that's an excuse though, because
Rodney,
check this. No, listen.
Real life.
You said you hand drew it. Like unless I'm thinking in a different type of logic, right? You are the creative. It's your story, right? As you are thinking of your scenes, you know the kind of sounds you want to hear with it.
Right.
Yeah, but even in the question and answer, he expressed how during the whole creation of the film, he kind of had a block with the whole sound where he couldn't even think of.
So then give it to somebody, and you don't have to do everything. Give it to somebody.
Yeah, but I feel like these are the lessons we learn with our first feature film. You know what I mean? Where you have this baby.
Is crazy.
You have a baby, and it's like your baby, right? So you want to like do everything yourself, and you want to, because it's your baby.
I get that part though. But honestly, the 2 days for the score, I don't agree with. I honestly don't agree with that. I just feel like, especially as somebody who's a musician, you put out all this music work, you've done all these graphics, you've done the storyboarding frame by frame, you've been able to get both the distance.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it was Questlab and all these people who really pushed it. So as far as the music is concerned, it's the music that I felt like, the music is like that icing on the cake for you to completely make this film.
Sorry, is it Dadia 90? Okay, it's saying, okay, so I hope once you guys are done with the negative, you also speak on the positive. The positives are there for everybody.
The positives,
just go online and type in Burial of Kojo. You will see it plenty. This is why we are doing this, because like I went to the movie and I saw it and I'm like, what's up? Because like, nobody actually said, no, I saw one review that said the story kind of like was slow in picking up, right? And hold on. Yeah, so like the positives are available, and we have acknowledged that it's a great feat and all sorts of stuff. Like don't get us wrong. We are not here to talk about negatives only, but we are here to say that,
because I feel like it's a seminal. The reason why I think we're also doing this is that this film is a seminal. It's part of the new wave of African cinema, and I do think with Lucky and with Burial of Kojo, we are going to see artists really coming to the forefront of the mainstream film industry. So it's important that we speak about the film. I'm not hating on it, because I felt like, as an art film, he really did very well. I think that when the film comes into the theaters, I'm expecting that there will be some type of conversation, because I feel like the reviews are going to be very mixed. I think that people are not going to know how to digest the film based on the narrative. And I do think that the technical part of the film sort of stole away from the experience in the beginning for me. I had to sort of tune my mind to appreciate the visuals, because I feel like, you know, when you're doing documentary work, I mean, you can tell me this if I'm wrong, but I feel like if you're doing documentary work and if I keep taking footage of, you know, Kwame Nkrumah with Queen Elizabeth, I'm not thinking about whether it's shaky or not, because it's a moment that you can't create. But when you are intentional and you are creating a scene, I just find it very, especially in the medium of digital, like when it's not like on real film, like if you have shots that are not stable, I feel like it can really rob your audience of the experience that you intend to give them. So
right. I agree with you, but how is being hated? I think it's so sad that in 2018, no one can actually criticize or critique something.
in Ghana,
No, it's not Ghana, because this person who is typing this is not Ghanaian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, my dear, be the creator, not the hater. How is it that when you are saying that, you know, there are things that were obviously not right with it, you're a hater? I never get that. Like, it's so sad. Like,
because we're not recommending that people not go see the film.
Of course not.
Nobody is saying that no one should go and see the film. So let's not get things twisted. You know, we are just having a conversation because we feel like as creatives, it's a film that we all support, and it's an artist that we support, and we hold him to a different type of standard. So we felt like, let's have a conversation, not even just about the film, but in terms of the future of cinema in Ghana briefly, and see where we are going with this, because it's almost the end of the year, and I feel like, I feel like it's important that we are able to critique, because that's why we may not even have an industry, because everyone's afraid to express their opinion.
If you don't talk about it, we all end up with Kumawood. Is that what you want? Because nobody holds Kumawood to a standard, right? They do whatever they want, and then the masses absorb
whatever,
it.
Man, whatever. I like the fact that they can do whatever they want.
No, I like it. This Kumawood is not winning us awards or getting noteworthy reviews and stuff, right? So the one thing that has in a long time, we have to make sure, hey, yo, we see this. Yes, awesome. Like I said, hats off to Blitz, because I haven't shot a movie.
Right.
I have done little projects, so I am just bowled over by the fact that he had the vision and was able to see it through in the time he had, right? But like you said, it is something that was staged, so flaws should be at the minimum.
That's what.
How is it difficult to acknowledge this?
That's what.
And how is this hating?
Yeah. So like, I feel you guys, but you know, just from like, you know, just being in the field making films in Ghana, Charlie, that's why I keep saying the tools, man. Sometimes you might have this vision.
I love this person.
Fofo, you said what the tools?
Yeah, man. Sometimes, Charlie, you'll be in the field and like you want to do this shot.
No, I understand that too. I understand that the field thing. I understand. I just feel like, I don't know what the deadline and what so many things were, but I just feel like the performance, if it was just about getting a performance and leaving, I understand. But because I feel like he bled to shoot this film.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just go, you've gone like 85%. Why not just finish that 15% as hard as you can? Especially when this is on the world stage, you know, because I feel like visually it was dope. I feel like he played with a language that I really liked. I liked the way he was trying to tell a story he was ambitious with the film, I feel.
Very
ambitious with the film. And I feel like it's a film that people should go and see, because it challenges the way we make films. But I
people need to write papers about the film, you know? People need to write essays about the film.
Yeah, I really feel like that, because he was able to weave like the Crow and the person who was complaining about us not talking about the beauty of the film maybe doesn't really understand the intention and doesn't understand what we're trying to do, because the film was dope on its own level, but based on what we expected, and just to be able to keep that standard, that because I'm looking forward to his next film. I feel like after seeing Burial of Kojo, I would like to see what Blitz does next, like what he does with the feedback, what he does with his own experience, what type of visual he's going to create next. But I still think that we need to be blunt with the project so that we are also held to that standard. Because at the end of the day, Fofo is making films. I'm also making films. Rodney very soon, I'm sure, is going to be making a film. Amen. And I feel like, yeah, we have to be honest, because I feel like it's one of those moments in the cinema experience and in African cinema that we see a different type of imagery within Ghana, like the locations. I felt like the locations were beautiful. I felt like the costuming was on point for me. I felt like at some point the pacing was when are we able to speak about certain parts of the film, or we don't want to
we don't want to spoil the story, but one thing I'll say, the Crow.
Yeah, the Crow. The Crow. If anybody knows about the Crow, Charlie, the Crow be killer.
The Crow. So when I saw it, when I saw the Crow, the first thing that came to mind is, I really wonder what the customs official that saw this thing in a box when it came into the country thought. You know,
they got it from outside.
I'm assuming so. But the thing the Crow was just like unbelievable, and I really wish he actually delved into that character a lot more, because I felt it was so rich.
Right.
The Crow was just like, on the horse, like.
Someone says that's an excuse, man. People make dope movies with shitty equipment. I'm trying to understand what that means.
I guess Kwesi BK is saying that we are making excuses for Blitz. Yes, I think so too, because when I was told that the gimbal broke, I'm like, that's not an excuse, because in 2018 you send it back to the retailer and say it ain't working, give me back another one or whatever.
Or use a tripod.
So like I agree with you, like we are not supposed to make excuses for stuff that shouldn't go wrong. And so when I was chatting with a friend of mine about this movie, my friend is like, what would you do if I was critiquing your pictures and stuff? I'm like, please do, because that's how I learn. If you don't say stuff and you just go and like, what does it do for me? Nothing. I don't know why people are scared of critique. Say, Rodney, I saw it, I didn't like it. I'm like, okay, cool. What didn't you like about it? Then you start, I thought blah, maybe the composition was off, whatever. But say it. Don't just think.
Yeah, we don't know how to do that. We don't know how
to yourself, you're like, this is crap. And then you go and like it. Why? And so like, if anybody follows me, you know that me and Instagram, we are not friends like that. I put stories up and I post stuff whenever I feel like it, when I remember. All this engagement algorithm stuff is my back case. Like, I'm not trying to amass followers. Like when people follow me, I'm honestly thinking, what are they looking for? Anybody who follows me knows that this is my thing all the time, right? So if my followers would be like the kind of followers that when I put something up, they're like,
what is Fofo?
I don't know. Let's see if we can find it. Like when I put something up, then I get critique. Even if you're not a photographer, just hearing your opinion alone builds me, right? And makes my work better. I'm down for it. But y'all are just there liking stuff for liking's sake. And then when the Rodneys of the world open their mouth, they're like, that dude is rude. Anyway, don't be afraid to be open to learning. The best way to learn is through critique. Yes, thank you, Bessie. I totally agree. Yes, thank you, people. Like everything on social media. Oh yeah, people like everything on social media, even the bad, because they just want to get more followers and likes, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Cozy shirt. Charlie, my guy, I'm coming for you. I have to learn a lot from you. Like, you inspire me, no end. I tell you, no lie. But yeah. Anyway, back to.
So, what decisions would you have made differently? Let's say you were a producer and you saw the footage.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell the director?
Let's say I'm Ryan Coogler and he showed me the footage, right?
Mm.
And I'm like,
but did he say he showed Ryan Coogler the entire thing? Because I think he said he showed him some of it, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he showed him the finished one.
I guess.
But as a producer, if you had seen that cut, what would you
Which
put
cut?
The one that we saw. What would you have?
So one, I would have thought that there was a bit of fat that could be taken out. I was going to say, take for example. I don't know if we can say this. Okay.
What if? Do you feel like if you were not a Ghanaian and you were a producer, you would have feedback different?
Totally. Like I said, I think that if you are not Ghanaian and you do not speak Twi or Fanti and you don't understand the dialogue, you would appreciate the movie in a totally different way, right? So, like I said, the dialogue, like just brought it down for me. The pace of the dialogue was like killer, right? And then like it was so sparse.
Do you feel the dialogue was a problem based on the accent or based on the you felt it wasn't authentic enough?
I don't have anything with the authenticity. I didn't even have a problem with the mix of Fanti and Twi, right? Even if it was Fanti and Ga or something totally unrelated, I do not have a problem with it. But it was just the flow was so unnatural. See how we are talking right now?
Right.
The pauses in between sentences and then responses and reactions, like it was so flat that it wasn't emotive, if you get what I mean. Because like when like I don't want to give away.
Can we
okay, spoilers.
I think we are going to spoil it small.
Okay.
So in case you don't mind.
When like the wife was chasing the car when they brought the body. Yes. So there I felt like the emotion was real, right? But if she had followed on like the rest of the movie, it wouldn't have been believable. Because she actually chased it and was crying and blah 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 blah. Look at the parts where they said, and she left and she came back and she left and she came back and she left and she came back. They did it 3 times, right? With 3 different costumes. And I'm like, what was the point of that? Right? Then there was the scene where Kojo's head was down or something, lifts his head, looks into the camera.
You mean under the light?
Yes. And the light was like directly over their head, so then you don't see their eyes. So the eyes were in shadows, right? Maybe it's a style they were going for.
Right.
But I didn't get that part of like, why did they need it? And why was it so long? Because his head was down for like maybe a millisecond, then it comes up. Like, if that wasn't there or it was shorter, it would have been better for me.
But don't you think that based on the poetic nature of the film, if you watch it again, maybe you may have a different opinion, or you feel like it just doesn't work for you?
Do you think that was the artist's choice in terms of the pace?
Right.
It had to have been the artist's choice because that's what we saw, right? And when we are talking about the artist, are we saying the actor as an artist or the director as an artist? I feel like that's what the director wanted, but I didn't get it, right? It didn't, basically I didn't buy the whole sale, if that makes any sense. I saw it as deliberate because it was so sparse, right? So we have to go as yes, the director, okay. So we have to like push this as long as we can because we have a lot of beautiful scenes that we need to show these people, but we don't have a lot of substance in terms of dialogue, right? And my thing is that the dialogue could stay as short as it was or as thin as it was, but we use music to texturize the hell out of this movie, right? Because you've seen movies that don't have any dialogue and it's just sound, like, you know, crashes and all sorts.
So you feel like the pauses were not necessary?
At all. At all.
That's interesting. I'm thinking of whether, that's why I feel like if a second viewing would make it make sense because they were dealing with the tragedy.
Second cut or a second viewing?
A second viewing for you, if you feel like a second viewing would bring it home for you, or you feel like it just didn't work at that point, like it just doesn't work, whether you have a different...
Oh no, you see, when you say it just didn't work for me, that wouldn't be the truth, because I saw what he was trying to do, and I appreciate the awesome like visuals that he created, right? It's just that I felt like the flow of the movie was, for me, not the pace didn't allow me to be immersed in the story.
Somebody said something. He says, Trap T'Challa says, music is not required if you have a mastery of language or visual storytelling.
Yes, but
I sort of agree. I feel like even in the era of the silent film, even sometimes with that film they play music as well. Mm-hmm. But do you feel it's true? That if he feels like music isn't required, if visually he was telling the film the way it needed to be told, or
yes. So my thing is that because the story was so sparse, because don't vex with me, there was no story, right? So
no, but what do you mean? What do you mean there was no story? Because I mean, they clearly the characters were I think Kojo went to see his brother, mm-hmm. So it was progressing to a certain point. I think it was looking for a job. Mm-hmm. So it's like it was moving, or you felt like.
So it's let's say.
And I mean, with the crow and with the bird, it was clear that he was building something. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it wasn't that there wasn't a story there. I think that maybe the dialogue that you feel was there wasn't moving it forward in a pace that made you interested in the film.
True, but I feel like the dialogue robbed the movie of the impact it could have had. Right?
The dialogue.
Yes. So check this. Like aesthetically, shots were composed beautifully.
Yeah.
One of the things that I loved, I saw in a review and it dawned on me. I'm like, oh yeah, this is true. Did you see? There was a shot a scene where he was selling the gold, and the scene of the shot of the person who was buying the gold was from under the table.
Yes.
Like underhand, like
right. It was that. So
yeah.
When he was on the phone,
it was like awesome. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. Like it was like under the table type deals, shady.
Right.
And I got that, and I'm like, yeah, awesome. So there's.
What do you think about the soap opera thing? That I also expected. I expected that to be a bit more. I think my issue with the film is that I get the sense that when it got to finishing the film, mm-hmm. he didn't necessarily go that distance he did to make the film. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, because I think they shot the soap opera, I don't know if it was before they had finished, but it just felt like I expected more than what I saw.
Right. In
terms of like the story within the soap opera that they were watching. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Like so basically they were giving, it was, I don't want to say a story within a story because the soap opera was really, really short, but it was nice to see how the girl was asking her mom questions based on what was going on.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what he was trying to play with layers mm-hmm. within a story. And I feel like in doing that, like, I don't know if it was adequate enough. It just felt too conveniently placed within the film to advance the story. In terms of, as an audience member, I just felt like it was a bit too convenient in a way. Maybe we needed more scenes, or we needed moments where we would have either traveled into the world briefly in the soap opera in a certain mm-hmm. way that would mess up with the mind of the girl.
Instead of it being always on the
On
TV.
TV.
You should have actually
I just feel like
immersed into that world.
I just feel like something small should have happened within that space, and that's what I thought would happen. But yeah, do you feel like?
Why do you always ask me the questions? Ask the question, answer it yourself.
Because I understand what you are also saying. I feel like you feel like if the film was edited down, do you feel like if the film was edited down, it's the dialogue that needs to be removed, it's the shaky scenes for you, or you just feel like what do you think?
So if they recut the movie, right, they can take out the pauses between the exchanges.
You feel like it should move faster?
Definitely. So when I say faster, I'm not expecting like thriller.
Right.
But I'm like, we don't have time for this, you know, because.
When did you get to that point? Which part of the film were you watching that you feel like it's just the dialogue?
The beginning is the beginning for me. So like I said, the movie started the movie started at 5 minutes past 7. At 26 minutes past 7, I had taken out my phone and I started typing in the notes app to say that, and then I passed it to, I saw the movie with Fofo, and then we had a little interaction about it and stuff.
During the film?
Yeah, during the film.
People were talking.
They
didn't watch the film.
No, but you see, that's the thing. The dialogue was like so slow that it gave us a chance to actually talk about it.
But don't you feel like in certain films, the dialogue is slow for a reason? Like
yes, but I didn't get that reason, is what I'm saying. You know? Like Nat was saying that the shaky shots and the out of focus shots could have been the style that they were going for, but it didn't come across as such.
Yeah, me too. I didn't feel like it came across as such. You know, especially like I don't know. I just feel like with shaky shots, it's about mood and it's about the mood of the character and the point of view you want the audience to feel.
So like Lucky, when the characters are walking and the camera is following them, it's smooth, right? As soon as there's like some agitation or anything, and it's that handheld, and then you say it's shaky. So you understand that that's a style thing. They're trying to immerse you in the emotion of whatever. Yeah. But so check this, right? A scene where she was talking with her uncle and asked where the bird was, and he points, right? The camera follows her to, I think, to stand like 45 degrees away from her uncle or whatever. But in that movement, it was shaky. What the hell?
So you feel like when the gimbal...
Hi, Mom. Because the mother is on Instagram like, wow.
Hey, your mom is No, so you feel like at that point they should, if it was you feel like you would have been, after all that, because he said they took like a year to like rehearse and everything. Do you feel like you would just be like, you know what, let's just put this thing down and then let's fix it because we need to really get the shots?
Of course, this is your baby, right? And so that shot where the director is sitting there watching the monitor, right? And then the camera guy and cinematographer, DOP, whatever, are doing the camera work. You do not call it a wrap until you get that shot that's not shaky, no matter what.
So you feel like even if maybe he felt like they got the performance, so they got the performance they wanted.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe they did. Anyway, yes, so Burial of Kojo, do well to see it, support the movie. We definitely need to support it because I think it's an awesome project. No lie, visually stunning. You can't take away from that. Yeah. It's very, very, very true. Hats off to this man, my bald head, for, like I said, pulling it off in the time that he was able to do and actually realizing it. Like, I know a ton of us, me especially, have awesome ideas or ideas that never come to fruition, right? And it's inspiring in the fact that he was able to do this. And so I hope, if ever I release a movie, somebody does this for me.
Yeah.
You know, If you tell me, cool. If you don't tell me and you'd rather do this, cool. I'm actually looking forward to meeting Blitz. Hopefully he doesn't punch me. And yeah, because like, kudos to him.
Do you feel like if somebody listens to what you're saying, they won't go and watch the film?
Oh, no, totally. You have to go and see it.
Yeah,
they will. I think they will see it.
I don't feel like...
Yeah, I think they will see it. But in this, you know, we're in interesting times. Like, for you to say that, okay, I think the white is a bit dirty, or you know, the black could have been blacker. They're like, why are you saying that? You're just a hater. You know, like, things rub people the wrong way very, very easily. And not everybody is thick-skinned, and not everybody can see critique for the positivity. And they only see that you are trying to bring somebody down, which is not the case, right? And so, yeah, it's an awesome movie. Go see it. It's a great production. Like, we are ending 2018 with The Burial of Kojo. God knows what 2019 is going to bring us, because it's set a standard in terms of the story, in terms of the whole poetry and avant-garde. Like, yeah, not everything has to be like can drama or TV theater.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kuma Woodley, don't let us go there. Shout out to Kuma Woodley. We'll win.
The greatest actor in Ghana.
You know. But yeah, again, the whole team, Amake, Boat, Blitz, even this foreign cinematographer that I don't get why they used, honestly.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
You know my biggest issue. Like I was so peeved with this whole Fernandez dude or whatever his name is. I actually went on IMDb to check. This is his first movie.
Or maybe he just registered back. This is there. Yeah, but Charlie, I didn't agree with that. I was hoping that the producer was going to be
There are
fired.
plenty cinematographers, DOPs in Ghana who would have given you like, they would have even brought their own gimbal.
It's true.
Yeah.
The grading was dope.
Oh, hey.
The
colors there, don't go there.
The grading was dope.
Don't go there. The color, yeah, okay, forget. The grading was good.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to bring another thing and then somebody be like, Rodney.
What was it?
Never mind.
No. Now, what was it?
No, so when she went into the cave and then the specs and things were like floating. No, you see that?
I saw. Okay, so it was two scenes. There was one where her father. It was like a zoom shot or a dolly shot to her face. She was holding the umbrella with. Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
And then there was one that she went and there was like a purple smoke.
Was it a smoke?
Or
I saw it like an upward shower.
Or maybe you're talking about, I don't know which
When
one.
she entered the cave to go and get the bird.
After when her uncle.
Yes.
Yes.
What the hell was that?
What he says true. What is true? KCBK says true.
I don't know. Kwesi, what were you saying true to? And Bessie, what did we say that you guys are agreeing with?
I think critique is
No, that's Kwesi saying critique is a process of growth. But anyway, good movie, dope movie. Go see it. Support the cause. Yeah. Don't explain to anybody what it is in Tree or anything, like, because yeah. Just read the subtitles.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us. Hopefully something else will come up and then we'll talk about it. It probably won't be filmed. Let's start reviewing music.
I'm not sure about that, please.
Totally. Yeah, so Manifest Show is coming on the 22nd. I think we're going to see it. Walasi has a show on the 7th, which is tomorrow. I'm going to be there. Who else has a show? I don't know. If Akan does anything, do well to support. Ayat, do well to support.
Yeah, Ayat has something coming on.
Oh yes, Mad Fest. Go see Ayat Mad Fest. Pabi is doing interesting stuff. Young Pabi.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
And Ria Boss.
Oh Jesus, Boss Lady herself.
Check out Ria Boss's albums.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
and someone saying films. Let's go back.
All over.
We should review more films.
Oh, okay.
Not just Ghanaian.
Okay.
Films from all over Africa.
Karim, you're late.
Do we need any feedback from them?
Yes, please DM me. Send us. He is at the Galileo. Yes.
Rodney will put it out.
At the Galileo, you should have seen it. I post, yeah. Send us, any of us, tweet at us.
And
Send us
Fofo,
DM.
I don't know, I wonder what happened to Fofo.
Yeah, we'll hit him up later. But yeah, send us your thoughts and tell us what we should review next or share our thoughts on. I'm definitely open to learning a lot more about African cinema. So yeah, let's do this. Chapchela, thanks for joining the conversation. Bessie, thanks for joining the conversation. Kino Zen, Natalia, thanks for joining the conversation. Who else joined? Oh, Kwesi BK, thank you very much. Kantamanto, Agbe Girl, all of y'all.
Kino, did you say Kino?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, my favorite Kino. We loved you a long time.
I think Renee.
Yes, Renee came, but she didn't say anything. She was just lurking for a while. So shout out Renee. And yeah, tell us what we should see, talk about next. Anything African, music, film, whatever.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
End.